prosecutor gets back, there's going to be a little bit of a delay because he has to go through and talk to everybody. Then we'll all get together, and then he'll do it in the order that he talks to people, and we'll process them at that time. Okay? So be patient with it, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, we don't have the invite to the breakout rooms yet.
Yeah, the invites are just about to happen now. Okay. My moderator says, there we go. All right.
Looks like we have most of the people in the breakout room. I'm Lane Miller, prosecutor here in the Old Bridge Municipal Court. I recognize most of you are here because you're concerned about points. Me personally, I hate the point system. I'd love to do away with it. Not within my power of control. I do what I can when I can, which is usually the ability to give you 2-point break in your ticket. If you have a 4-point ticket, I might be able to make it 2. You have a 2-point ticket, I might be able to make it none. One exception to the 2-point reduction is if you have a 5-point ticket, best I can do is make it 4 because there is no 3-point ticket. In any event, if you end up with points, you have an option to get rid of some of those points, and that's to take a class that's been sanctioned by the Division of Motor Vehicles. It's available in person or online. It takes 2 points off your record. What I generally recommend to people is if you are going to take that class, pull your insurance company, don't tell them you got a ticket, just say, I'm thinking about taking a defensive driving class, is there one you recommend? Because you'd like to try to find one that is most suitable for your insurance company. I tend to be very skeptical and cynical about insurance companies. They're in the business of collecting premiums and denying claims, so they'll raise your rates whenever they can. Such is my view. In any event, if you ask for the no-point ticket, the unsafe driving ticket, just be aware that carries an additional $250 one-time surcharge that's going to increase the cost of your ticket. His cost for most tickets we're going to be talking about today is about $150. So if you get that no-point ticket, it drives it up to about $400. I find it offensive. I have no control over it. The legislature decided since you're not paying higher insurance rates, you might as well give them some money, or at least such is my thought of why they did it. Again, I have trouble with that, but they didn't ask my opinion. The other thing about that unsafe driving ticket is there's a limited number of times you can use it. If you've used it twice, you have to wait 5 years before you can use it again. Otherwise, DMV not only charges you more money and gives you 4 points, which is completely senseless. But again, they didn't ask my opinion before they wrote the law. Okay, I'm going to go list. I see down at the bottom a gentleman whose name is not appearing. So, sir, I think you're on the main screen. What's your name?
My name is David, sir.
Your last name, though?
Jarishvili.
Okay. Yep, got it. You have a 2-point ticket. I can have you plead guilty to the 2 points. You can take the class, get the lower fine. You can make it no points. You have a higher fine, or I can schedule you for trial. What do you want to do?
Well, obviously, I don't want to get the points because I'm doing this for a living. I have CDL driver license. And
okay, I'm going to hold you off because I have to talk to you about some of the other consequences on the CDL. So I'm going to get to you last. Okay?
Yes, Mr. Lin. Yeah, I just have the theory, but I'm actually in the process. I passed the theory test. I'm now testing the practical test. So I'm in the process.
We're going to cover that later. I want to make sure that you understand all the consequences of your plea.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I see up top Ms. DeLeon.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. DeLeon, you have today I think is just a first appearance on an alleged assault case. Judge is going to advise you the nature of charges, read your rights, and then reschedule it. This is not a case we can resolve today.
Okay, perfect.
So, are you on a cell phone or on a computer?
I'm on a cell phone. I'm at work.
Okay. Cell phone, the leave room button is up at the top right. Computers, it's bottom left. If you leave the room, go back to the courtroom. Just tell the judge you're there for a first appearance, and he should be able to process you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Zumbia? Ms. Zumbia? Okay. Yes, ma'am, you have a 2-point ticket. I can do guilty with the 2-point ticket, and you can take the class, lower fine, or I can make it no points, higher fine, or you can have a trial. What do you want to do?
I'll do the no points hard fine.
Okay. You're going to do the higher fine, no points?
Yep.
Okay. You go back inside the courtroom. We'll see you shortly.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Bay? Bay? Or Mr. Bay, maybe? Ali Taj Bay?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Sorry when I called you Mrs. It's very dark and your picture was little, so I couldn't tell.
Thank you.
In any event, you have 2 tickets. The most significant, actually, they're pretty significant each, but the most significant is the 39-340 driving while suspended or revoked, because that carries a 6-month loss of license. Are you restored?
Well, actually, first of all, I would like to address the jurisdictional issues of the tribunal.
Okay, that you're going to do at a separate time. So we'll get you back in front of the judge. You'll tell the judge you want to make a motion about jurisdiction.
All right.
I will suggest you that the sovereign citizen argument.
No, it's not, sir.
What it, judge, but you have a right to raise
sir, what is a sovereign citizen? What is the legal definition, and where can I find it?
That is,
it doesn't exist.
Without knowing more about
that's hearsay.
Jurisdictional argument is
sir.
Usually when people start with those words, that's the
sir.
Of the argument they're raising.
Sir.
In any event, I'm not going to argue the niceties with you. You're making
okay, but where can I find that legal definition? It doesn't exist. It's an oxymoron. I'm either a sovereign or I'm a citizen. I can't be both. You can't be on fire and wet at the same time, sir.
Okay, I understand. You're enticing me into the argument. I do.
Not at all. Not at all.
In front of the judge, you can make the motion.
Who's making the claim? Who's bringing the claim here, sir? Are you bringing the claim?
The state of New Jersey.
Okay, who is the state of Jersey? Is it an entity?
Okay, sir, again, I decline the invitation to argue.
I decline yours. I do not consent to your proceedings, and I order you to cease and desist, okay?
Okay. Sir, please go back into the courtroom. Thank you.
All right. And I tendered the instruments for you to receive, and I've endorsed them properly and correctly.
Okay, sir, again, thank you. You're making a motion to the judge, not to me as prosecutor.
Okay, but you're going to be prosecuting the case.
It's only going to bring you back in front of the judge.
Okay, and you're going to, but it has to go in front of you. You're prosecuting the case, and you have delegation. Peace. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, because people think I just talk, and it's just all talk. You can be scary, and you can not know your rights, and you can be ran over as much as you want. And you can call me whatever you want, conspiracy theorist, crazy.
Okay. Ms. Sophia.
So
Malaysia,
this how it goes
I
down.
can't see what the last name is. Oh, Arisa. Ma'am, you have a 4-point speeding. I can make that 2 points. You can take class, get rid of the other 2.
Exactly. Sean, I stand on what I do. No books. No, I didn't need to research anything. It's already researched. It's in my brain. I stand on truth and justice. Truth, justice, and freedom, man.
2 points, 4 points, or trial.
So I'm not asking you to do anything that I don't stand on myself. I do this daily. Anyone bringing a claim against my estate better be ready.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Florshak.
Should I leave now? Sorry.
Yes,
And you
ma'am.
notice they're not addressing me, and he didn't have jurisdiction because I didn't answer to the
Mr.
name.
May, if you go back to the courtroom, your argument is to the judge. Mr. Fuller,
The judge cannot practice law, sir. The judge cannot practice law. So how is my case with him? Who's bringing the claim? Is the state? Do you
again, I'm not going to argue with you, Mr.
You don't have to argue, but you have a constitutional oath. You have an oath to do your job, sir. You can only prosecute the case. The judge can't. He can't practice law and be a witness at the same time. He cannot. And he's left the building again. And he still hasn't got my name, so he still doesn't have jurisdiction. I just want to know who's bringing the claim, who's making the claim here, and who's bonding the case so we can get to those issues. Exactly. You notice he keep leaving. He don't have jurisdiction because I didn't enter the name. I didn't enter the name into the record. He didn't ask me for my name. None of that. And he keeps leaving to talk to the judge. What the judge going to do? He can't save you. You here to prosecute this case on behalf of the state. The judge cannot prosecute a case. He's a fact finder. That is it. Once he starts playing both roles, it's a wrap. It is a wrap. So he keep running for cover, but when he comes back, he better have that bond number ready because I'm about to ask him for that. You bonding this case, bro? Are you bonding this case? You willing to take the liability on this case? Sovereign citizen bullshit. What the fuck is a sovereign citizen? You got a definition for that? You got a statute? Can I find that anywhere? Yes, sir. Pressure. I ain't talking about no points. I ain't talking about no money. I ain't paying you shit. None of that. This how I handle business. Whose land is this? Whose land? It's the Moors' land. It's Moors' land you're standing on. Indigenous, Aboriginal. This our land. We all know where you came from. You came through Ellis Island.
I got cut off. Sorry about that. So
He
back
got
to
cut
Mr.
off.
Floorshak. You have, amongst others, a driving
And you notice
suspended or
he skipped me again.
Two failure to have insurance charges.
Every time he mentioned my name on this case, I'm coming back in. I'm shredding him.
I was in federal prison for 2 years, and this ticket happened while I was.
I'm gonna come back in and shred him.
So I couldn't have gotten the ticket.
Okay. Well, again, we can deal with that stuff when I have people that I can see other than just a defendant. I can't try cases at this point. So what I'm going to do is tell the judge that we need to adjourn that. I would think that not being on the road and being in another living accommodation would certainly be a valid defense. But at this point, I just don't have the ability to look at any of the information relating to it.
My wife even brought my wife brought a notarized letter from where I was at to show that I was incarcerated.
All of which may be true, but it still leaves me in a position I can't do anything at this moment.
He can't do anything.
Then I can't restore my license or to get a job now.
But we're going to start by going back in front of the judge, and you can explain to him, I just do not have the power to address it.
That you're very true with that. You're very true.
We'll talk about it there.
You don't have any power.
Yeah, bottom it says leave room, then it'll say leave meeting or leave the breakout room. You're going to leave the breakout room only.
And they probably already working on that, man. And they don't have a full discovery. Because when the cop pulled me over, he didn't turn the lights on when he saw me speeding. He followed me about 1.5 miles down the road when I pulled into an establishment and parked and then turned them on. So he don't have no footage.
No, I don't want to just by, that's it.
Okay. You go back in the courtroom. We'll talk to you about that.
And he don't have a sworn a sworn statement
Matthew's, cell phone.
on
Maybe
that citation. It just says I certify, and it's not under penalty of perjury.
You have a 2
So
point
it is
ticket.
ineffective
I can make
as an
that
affidavit.
no points, or you can
So they have no
plead 2
evidence.
points with a lower fine.
So
Because
either
there was
you
an
take them
accident, the other
instruments
person
that I
involved
endorse
has a
for
right
you
appear and
to handle
speak.
your
I don't
business
know
with,
if they were given
or
notice,
you
so
prepare
any
for trial with no
prosecution is
evidence.
subject to their right to appear and speak. What do you want to do?
Okay, I'd rather go.
And the people don't understand, and this is why I do this. It's not for showing off. It's for showing you that it's business. Like they said, handling the business of the court. This is a business. It's not government. They here fleecing you.
Kathleen Vernados James.
Exactly. You heard me ask him, right, Will? Multiple times you have a claim. Oh, that's a sovereign citizen argument. Man, that's an oxymoron, bro. I'm a sovereign.
So I can make it no points, higher or fine. What do you want to do?
I'm a sovereign. You're a citizen. You took the oath, not me.
What is the fine for the lower?
The lower fine's going to be about $150.
Yeah, see?
Set by the judge.
All money.
Just telling you what to anticipate.
All money. This is business of the court all day. They sit here and take down these dockets and fleece you out of money because you scared, one, you in fear, and you don't know who you are, and you don't study, and you do not understand this thing called reality.
I'm sorry?
You do not. So he's pretty much a banker. He's in the business of banking right now. That's what he's doing. He's banking on your fear and your ignorance that you're going to pass over some FRNs to him. And I'm letting him know this ain't that type of game. I'm not going to pass you nothing. You're not getting nothing from me.
Finally, I've got back to
Let's see if he back to me.
CDL driver.
Nope. He might not call me back.
Trying to figure out who you were.
David Jariashvili, sir.
He might not want me back on this record.
Oh, yes, sir. Because it's a CDL, I'm going to make it a blocking the flow of traffic, which fits that offense.
And this is ex parte communications. It's not a court of record. He in his own private thing outside of the court.
I understand.
So I'm about to hit him on that too if he get back on record.
I'm trying not to. I don't like to mess with a man's living, so I'm going to try to help you out on that.
Appreciate it, sir.
Okay.
I really
you go back to the
appreciate it.
courtroom. We'll take care of it.
Thank you very much, sir.
You notice he said go back to the courtroom.
Okay. Now back to Mr. Bay.
Here we go.
I know you really want to engage me in the discussion of your legal points. They're simply wrong. I understand the words you're saying. They carry no legal weight. Your motions to the judge, not to me.
Can I interject for a minute?
We'll go back in the courtroom and you can address it there.
Can I interject for a minute? Is this ex parte communications right here? This dude ran again. How you sending me to the judge when you're prosecuting the case? Judge can't prosecute it. He cannot prosecute this case from the bench. Exactly. And Kiana, you already know how I'm coming, man. Courts don't want to see me. They want nothing with me. Prosecutor straight running. Yo, I'm telling you. And this is the only reason why I do this. People think it's for attention or this and this and that. I'm telling you, it's real. I'm tired of people deleting me, calling me names, thinking this is fake. I'm not about that life. All this crazy stuff. This is what I do. Oh, leaving it pregnant.
Proposition. I told him it needed to be adjourned. He pointed out that this hurts him deeply because he's currently suspended. I don't know how the court wants to address that.
Well, we're going to have to do this in court. It's a driving while suspended, at least one of them going back to 2018. And then there is a no insurance.
Yeah.
2 no insurances charged in 2017.
Judge, if
I don't have him. He's not suspended for ours. I don't have any notifications that it's our suspension.
Yeah.
Mr. Florchek, we scheduled you anyway. You talk to an attorney, sir?
Yeah,
You're on mute. If you come off of mute.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Your Honor, you could go on Pacer. Everything is on Pacer that I was incarcerated the whole time.
Oh, no, I'm not interested in that. I don't care about anything that happened anywhere else. I got these open charges, so I want to know, are you going to get an attorney for these?
Exactly. Great
Driving
actors.
while suspended is a serious charge.
Your Honor, it wasn't me. I was in
Okay,
federal prison.
hang on. Don't. This is not a trial. This is the time you can try to talk to the prosecutor. You have the right to a trial, and identification is certainly an issue you can raise, but that doesn't get raised on a virtual hearing. That will be in court. So I'm saying if you want, you can have an attorney represent you, because the driving while suspended charge can result in the loss of license, further suspension, jail time, as can the no insurance charges. So you might want to talk to an attorney.
Because he was scared, Marie.
Consultation, and then your matter, you can either hire an attorney for trial.
They want sheep just coming in there, handing the money over, and that is scared, full of fear. He can tell fear don't live in me.
Hang on a second. Are you still at Truman Street?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, good. All right, so we'll notify you there.
Okay, Mr. Florshack, before you disappear, send.
They are both lawyers. Before you can become a judge, you must be a lawyer first. Before you can become a prosecutor, which is a prosecutor is still a lawyer, you must become a lawyer. So they're all bar members.
If I can look at it and make it
Clear conflict of interest. How are y'all all on the bar and I'm not?
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Florshack, that's to the prosecutor. I won't be seeing any of that, because that's a
Nah, I got it muted.
Negotiation you're going to have with him. And then whatever the prosecutor does with that, you'll be notified back either on screen or in court, so he can make a determination on how he wishes to proceed.
See the button right there?
And then we'll take it from there.
I'm on mute.
Okay?
Yeah, and Judge,
I don't even have my photo up.
Oh, no,
I'm not live on
I
camera.
want to make sure Mr. Florshack didn't think I was getting it, because I'm not going to be getting it.
Yeah, it goes in the prosecutor mailbox.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we have Mr. Abrantes.
Okay. Mr. Abrantes?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so this is a speeding charge?
Yes, Your Honor. We're going to amend it to a 2-point speeding, 4 miles over the speed limit.
Okay, so that'll be a 59 and a 55. Mr. Abrantes, you understand by pleading guilty to that reduced speed, you negotiated with the prosecutor. You're waiving your right to remain silent, right to a trial, and right to an attorney?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll accept the plea. It's 207 for the fine, 33 for the court cost, to the reduced to 2-point charge. There's information online where you can take a class and have 2 points come off your driving record. You're going to get a letter in about 2 or 3 days indicating how you can make payment. And have a good day and good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
sir.
Ms. Aristas? Ms. Arista? Okay. Let us try Mr. Pearson.
Yes, Matthew Pearson. The one charge is a careless driving charge.
Yeah, we're going to amend that to a 497-2 unsafe driving, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Pearson, you understand by pleading to that reduced no-point charge, you're waiving your rights?
Yes.
And you understand there's one-time state surcharge that gets assessed in $250.
Yes.
Okay. And you understand you're waiving your rights by pleading to this no-point charge. I'll accept the plea. It's $157 for the fine, $33 for the court cost, and the one-time state surcharge is $250. That goes to the state of New Jersey. Now you're going to get something in the mail in about 2 or 3 days. We'll give you an idea of how to take care of that. All right?
Okay, no problem.
Good luck, sir.
Elevated. I got on because all courts pretty much are being held via Zoom. See the top Zoom? All court proceedings are held Zoom because of COVID. There's no in court.
Okay.
Okay, have a good day, sir. Thank you.
Next is Ms. Bernados.
Oh, also because I have a proceeding before the court.
What are we doing on that one? That's a fair change.
Yeah, that too is going to be a no-point ticket, Your Honor.
And Ms. James,
exactly,
you heard what I said about the prior no-point charge is a one-time state surcharge. And have you ever had one before? The no-point charge? No? Okay. I can't hear you, but I can see your mouth moving to see a little. All right, so I'll accept the plea. It's $157 for the fine, $33 for the court cost. The one-time state surcharge is $250. And if you wait 2 or 3 days, you'll get a copy of a letter which will indicate what to do in terms of the fines and court costs. All right? If you have any questions, contact the court. All right? Have a good day.
Mr. Jarashvili.
All right, David Jarashvili.
Yes, sir.
We're going to amend that to. Yeah, we're going to amend that to a 467, Your Honor.
All Mr. Jarrett, feel you understand by pleading guilty to the reduced obstructing traffic charge, you're waiving your rights?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's 107 and 33 for the fine and court cost, and then you'll get a letter in about 2 or 3 days, which will indicate how to proceed from there. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
Honor.
Bay.
Yeah, I don't think he.
Yeah, I'm here.
Back, Judge. Oh.
Mr. Bay, are you there?
Yes, the trustee for the estate is present.
All right, so, Mr. Alataj Bay, you have 2 charges. One is a speeding charge. It says alleges 85 and 55. The other charge is a driving while suspended charge. This is your first appearance. We'll note by video, at which time you're advised of the charges. And Mr. Bay, it's a high speed, but the driving while suspended charge is a serious one.
Well,
if you're convicted or you plead guilty to the charge, it's a $500 fine for a first violation, $750 for a second, $1,000 for a third. Loss of license up to 6 months for whether it's a first, second, or third. Rarely happens on a first. Jail time can be imposed anywhere from 1 day to 90 days or more. If you're suspended for a reason that would require enhancement of suspension and an additional jail time, it could be an additional 3 months. So the penalties can be quite serious. Sometimes they're not because it's quite minor why the suspension is noted. Do you understand you have the right to remain silent, the right to a trial, and the right to an attorney?
First, I'd like to ask who's making the claim and who's bonding the case.
All right, Mr. Bay, I'm asking the questions. You're going to answer them. If you do not, I'll presume that you do understand what I've advised you.
I do not understand that you are a public servant. You're protecting the public trust. Is that correct?
Mr. Bay, stop with the sovereign citizen.
It's not sovereign citizen.
Application to this court, you make your application in writing. Do you understand?
Are you a
that?
public officer? Did you take an oath? That's not sovereign citizen. This is all record.
We'll give you an opportunity. I'm not going to get into this colloquy. If you want to make an application, if you're acting as your own attorney, you have to do it in writing. So if you want to make your application, do that in writing. Do you understand that?
I'm the trustee over the estate, sir.
Okay. Whoever is making the application, Mr. Bay.
Okay, who's making the claim?
Reference the numbers of the tickets and submit your written application to this court.
Are you making a claim, Mr. Weber?
Mr. Bay.
Who is making the claim?
The 2 violations of New Jersey statutes, which I've just advised you. The first is a speeding charge. The second is a driving while suspended charge. I'm making no claim, Mr. Bay.
So who is making the claim?
The claim is made by the state of New Jersey through the local municipality of the Township of Oldbridge.
And do you represent the state?
Mr. Bay, I'm going to cut this conversation off. If you wish to be represented by counsel, please hire counsel. If you're representing yourself, please send in your appearance. If you have an application, please make it in writing.
Can you enter your...
You've been advised of the charges.
Can you enter your bond and oath information into the record? Are you bonded? Are you bonded, sir? Are you bonded and you're required to?
Why are you still on the video?
They told me to go back to dismiss it, to say dismiss.
Oh, no, you're not guilty. I'm assuming there's Mr. Miller. Did you tell Ms. DeLeon it's going to be dismissed? Okay. All right. So you'll have an opportunity to speak to the prosecutor, Ms. DeLeon, at some point in time. If this is an assault charge, so he's going to have to converse with the victim, whoever that may be, and then make a determination on how we wish to proceed. Okay?
Okay, perfect. I'll wait on a call.
Have a good day. Mr. Bay, have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Did you hear that? I didn't get no other court date, no other updates, nothing. He said, have a good day. No jurisdiction. Did not admit to being the name. Yeah, I didn't want to chat with him. That was everything I needed to handle was right there. He left, right, and it was resolved. I did not accept jurisdiction, and I did not accept to be in the name. No plea entered. Nah, just me. So for all those who doubt me and think it doesn't work and this is all bullshit, there it is. There it is, living proof. Yo, he didn't want to talk. None of that. Nothing about the bond. Nothing about the oath. He didn't want to talk about that. Who's making the claim? I'm not gonna go into all that. Hey, if you ain't gonna go into that claim, what's next? I'll probably never hear from them again. I'll never hear from him because you didn't hear him say, we'll be back in touch with you. We're going to schedule another thing. We're going to schedule for trial. He didn't say any of that. It's a wrap's over. Yes, I did. Yeah. She heard everything, didn't she? I thought you was in. I am. That's court in another state via Zoom. And you see that I said I am the trustee for the estate. We talking all the terms right there. You know what it is. So jurisdiction not granted. And I'm gonna wait it out, see if I get anything in the mail. But or probably a dismissal. Nah, it's already been put in writing, bro. I took the instruments and I endorsed them. Like you would do a mortgage on the back, paid to the order of, name of the court, without recourse, my name, and beneficiary. And I already tendered them back to him. He know what to do when he was trying to get double paid on the other side, get the FRNs on this, and the negotiable instruments, which they already got, the citations or instruments. There's a lot of ways I could have handled it. But I could have got into the fact that if we want to go to trial, you don't have any evidence. They sent me their evidence. They didn't have the gun, need to be calibrated, and it had to be recent. They didn't give me that. They don't have, well, actually, the officer wasn't even there. But once you start getting into that issue, you're giving jurisdiction. So I didn't want to bring that up in case if this was a total bust and it was a burn, I would have went on to those other issues and backed me up. The officer wasn't there today. So nobody there had first-hand knowledge. There was no first-hand witness there. State to state, sorry, wrong venue. Hey. So you already know what it is. So that's what shit look like, and that's how Ali Bay get down on shit. From the head, no books. This is drilled and embedded in my head. I already know it. It's just there. You're supposed to live this like life, like your life depends on it. Yeah, that part, Rochelle. Yeah, because I'm not sure. It may come there or it may come here. So, whatever it is, but I shut him down. Had the prosecutor bouncing out of the room, bouncing. And I don't know if he was going in there and really talking to the judge, but they kept trying that sovereign shit, and I kept shutting that shit down. I'm no sovereign, sir. I'm no sovereign citizen. I'm a sovereign, but I'm no sovereign citizen. And the judge tried to overpower me about, I'm asking the questions, I'm this and that. No, sir. I said, you're a public servant. You're a public servant, right? You're a public servant? You got an oath on file? So that's what it is. People such as ourselves need to start taking back over government. We keep saying government is those people in office. It's not. The people are the government. Read any preamble. If you're on your phone right now, Google preamble of the Constitution. Any Constitution. It all starts with we the people ordain and establish this Constitution for the people. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but we establish governments. Well, we're supposed to. But right now, these are private corporations running business on our land without permission. Thank you. Appreciate it. So I did that literally for y'all just to give strength and insight to people on how you handle and take care of things. Yeah, I got a little loud. I got a little rough with him. But yeah, if he thought he was going to overpower me and have me like sit down. Second, if you notice when he was talking to me, he wasn't talking to live me. I gave him the entity. There was a picture of me on the screen, the fez on. So he already knew everything what it was. If it was all that serious, he'd have told me to please turn my camera on. He didn't do none of that. You know, the whole time, Mr. Bay. But I never, usually you have to enter your name into the record. And then that's when they have jurisdiction. They can't proceed without jurisdiction. That's why he was never proceeding. He was telling me about my rights, but he didn't discuss points, this, and that, because it's a commercial matter. It has nothing to do with your statutes that you're trying to impose upon me. And I established all that right there. Hold up, somebody's trying to chime in. All right, here we go. Keith Little. I see you, bro. It's adding you right now. Should be popping in any minute. There you go. Hey, what's up,
Hey, how you doing, brother? Hey, I just wanted to pop on. I loved it. And one thing I want to point out to you guys, I made a note in the comments about state to state in regards to venue. See, venue is the question of jurisdiction.
Yes.
And prove it through my own cases. I've got 11 cases sitting on the local record where I'm at now that are 4 to 8 years old now. I signed UCC 1-308 and then just never went to court. Now then, after that, they pulled me over for the traveling stuff and got me on that 4 years ago, where I finally just quit signing anything. But to this day, all of that stuff sits on the record and they can't do anything about it because the person never entered the venue. The person known as you never entered their venue. You, by technicality, didn't enter their venue except by a electronic record. The hierarchy of the languages is the spoken word, then the written word, then the typed word, and then the printed word from an electronic device, and then the electronic communication itself. And that's why I said their next step will be to send you something in the mail to see if they can get you to respond that way. This is where they can't deny the trust. Because now they've used the U.S. Postmaster. The U.S. Postmaster is the U.S. Registrar.
But you heard me express the trust, right?
And it went from the state to the U.S. Registrar and then to the county. So you have all three registrars in a trust.
Exactly.
With the trustee.
Keep that out, Keith.
Pay to the order of without recourse.
It's a done deal. Me and them people ain't got nothing to talk about, bro.
Yeah, it says pay to the order of without recourse, Old Bridge Municipal Court. So no matter what the municipal court orders, the payment is already exacted.
Exactly. So
there is no further promise to pay. It's already paid.
Exactly. I already did my part. I returned them in the original instruments. I made a what do you call it, photocopy, and I emailed this back to the clerk. So this was
they have a fiduciary assignment without recourse.
Yeah, it's endorsed properly. Trying to get it big again. So yeah, I've already did my part.
Yep.
Got the codes in there.
Yeah, and notice here he puts grantor.
Oh, of course.
Okay. This is one thing people have to comprehend. If you do walk into their venue, this is another comment I made. You said this is the trustee of the estate. Now that alone expressed a trust, and he would not recognize the trust. So then the next question is, regardless of what he says, are you denying the trust? Are you denying the trust? Are you denying the trust? Boom. 3 times, he's done. Doesn't matter venue, electronic record, written record, it is spoken.
Yep. Because I looked up the law in a few states, and a trust can be expressed orally.
Oh yeah, that's the way to express it. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I don't give a fuck what your name is on that piece of paper, electronic communication. What you want to call me over a telephone line, just make sure it's not asshole, because I'm going to tell you, let's get it right. I'm not an asshole. I'm the whole fucking ass.
Exactly. How much of the call did you hear? Because I told him that, what did I say? I said, I'm not sovereign citizen. I'm sovereign.
Yeah, I heard your whole part in it. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. You see that the prosecutor kept running back in and out of the room. He kept going and leaving and going back with the judge coming back. Everything they did.
And then they tried the interruption thing and just straight up asked her why she was on. That has nothing to do with my case, sir.
Exactly.
You're on my time.
Yeah. But they had a bunch of us lined up in that whole like a hold room, and they were just putting different people in. So they were moving away from me, going to other people, and then coming back to me. But everything with
trying to distract you
is ex parte, bro. You know ex parte, right? That don't fly.
Yeah, private.
Yeah.
That's private. It's proof that they're trying to conduct a private activity, and you've got all these other people on Zoom meeting, plus your own video that were witness to it. How could it be private?
Yeah, but see, they didn't know. I have my phone down low. I didn't want them to actually know I was doing that.
Oh, I don't care. It's going to a cloud meeting. It's going to a cloud.
Exactly. Well, I look at it this way. They're recording, right? We're on the Zoom, so
anytime I have any kind of interactions with them anymore, you're all right with me recording, correct?
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
It has to be. A court is a public place of business, allegedly, so the public has the right to be aware.
Well, it's like these First Amendment auditors going around to these public places, and everybody starts accusing them they don't want to be on camera. Then get the fuck out of public, because everywhere you're at in public, Big Brother, quote, Big Brother, is keeping an eye on you. Well, tell you what, motherfuckers. Daddy's got his eye on me, motherfuckers.
Exactly.
I don't care about your... people ask me, well, aren't you afraid of that? No. They want to record me. I have no problem recording them.
Exactly. And you saw me give him the cease and desist order too, right?
Oh, yeah.
I gave the prosecutor the cease and desist order. And so now he's trying to blame shift because everything comes through the prosecutor. So now he said, well, I don't have the power to do it. You got to talk to the judge. You got to go over to the judge. What's the judge going to do? What are you going to practice law from the bench?
Yeah. Yeah, see, the DA here, the DA here put a protection order on me 4 years ago when I had that last trial. And I'm telling you guys, I was cussing and swearing. I was the belligerent. And that's not the way to be. It really is. I've learned since then. But the prosecutor put a protection order out on me, and they renew it every year. They keep an eye on my page. They watch me to this day. And they know what I'm doing, and they see how I progressed. And that judge looked at me in that courtroom that one day, and he says, Mr. Little, do you understand English? And I stood there in all my belligerence with this vehemence in me, just anger, pure anger. And I said, yes. How stupid of you to ask me, do I understand? Yes. How little did I know back then, how little I really did know about the English language. And today, if anybody asks me if I understand the English language, it will be a firm no.
No.
But emphatic. I'm learning.
An emphatic no. And did you notice that he said something I'm got to get you to understand, or do you understand? I said, I do not understand. I do not consent. There's no jurisdiction. I denied all that.
Yep.
He can't.
And that's all on electronic record.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all on the electronic record on their Zoom. Yep. Everybody else that was in that meeting has it. You have it on yours. All of us that are watching it now have it. There's no way they can deny that you expressed the trust.
Man, did you see the look on people's faces as I was talking, as they were flipping through with the other people? They were looking like, who the fuck? What's going on over there? What the fuck is he doing? So, more than likely, I think them tickets going bye-bye, man.
Yeah. But see, that's one of those things, too. They're by these Zoom meetings, they're going to start catching people's particular attention, because by these Zoom meetings, placing that distance, these people are going to have less fear. And when they hear people like you in there doing this, they're going to start typing in, and they're going to start researching this.
Yep. Yeah.
Whereas sitting in a courtroom, they just want to hurry up and get the fuck out of there.
Mm-hmm. And it was funny because normally, like, I stay in character, I'm cool and collected. But did you notice I got a little, like, I screamed back down on him. He backed down. He tried to scream in my way,
Yeah,
but he to back down.
Well, and see, people have to realize that's that part of that Bible. I always like going to Scripture and everything I see. It's the eyes of equity to me, and when we see that, it's eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. It's just like an officer out there instigating or escalating. You want to escalate? Here, let me escalate, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Let me show you who's the boss. And that's the way I was acting in that courtroom. And literally, it's not the way to act, but I know where you're at and I know where it comes from. But we also have to comprehend in that same context of eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth.
Exactly.
There's a principle behind all ethics of war, and it goes to the statistics of trying to save your own men, and that is to defeat one's opponent without fighting is of supreme excellence. And that goes to say to stand there with a smile on your face and peace in your heart and tell them the plain truth without having to show any kind of incompetence or belligerence or anything, and just know.
Yep.
Because you no longer believe. And no matter what they say, no matter how they escalate,
you stay cool.
You remain standing your square.
Exactly. Exactly. You know that
I came in peace. I came at peace. I am in peace, and I will leave in peace.
Exactly.
How you act, that's up to you, idiot.
But you notice how none of them wanted to take the liability. I said, who's bringing the claim? The prosecutor said the state. I asked the judge, who's bringing the claim? Oh, the state.
Yeah, see, that's why I said, who do I write to? Put it in their language. Don't ask them who's accusing. Well, who do I write to then? And they're going to give you the fiduciary appointment priority in that case. And it's always going to come back to the prosecutor because he's the district trustee.
Yeah. And he has the obligation to discharge the liabilities. And that's why I know he's got them instruments. I tendered them to him. He already did that, but he like, I'm going to see if he can follow through with it. Because how they say it, people pretend how they be one way, but they can't walk in those shoes. So somebody else could have written that up. And
people remember something. When we're entering these documents, and everybody's confused about this contract thing, when we enter a document with in affidavit form like we're talking about here, and we put that signature on it, even an affidavit can be certified, which means it can be be changed from a document to an instrument, and that's called securitizing. That's what the signature is. When we talk about contracts, the one in control of the contract is the first signatory.
Exactly.
Because it is the second signatory that is recognizing and admitting observance of what is written in that document.
But guess what?
That's why they won't give that second signature.
Well,
they can't observe it.
But this is what it is. The first signature on it would be the officer because he's certified under certain beliefs or whatever. And then I sign. So then you have underwriter, which is, if you look at the word underscribe, scribe means write, under. So it is a security because it has the ticket number on the top. So I underwrote.
Right, and because the officer signed it first.
Exactly.
That's one security.
Yes.
He turned around and transferred it, that one security, and gave it to the prosecutor. The prosecutor is now not paying on that security like he's been instructed to.
Exactly. Because I gave the order and
he
I said
is executor liaison tort, which is breach of contract. And now you can come at him from admiralty as a criminal tort, executor liaison tort.
Yes. I was going to say
that. For not fulfilling his fiduciary duty according to the executor's instructions.
Exactly.
Grantor, as it states.
Yep.
The grantor passed that duty on to the trustee, and the trustee's not acting like he's supposed to. And as he's been recognized and identified as the municipal order.
Exactly.
Per the municipal order.
Yep.
Pay to the order.
Pay to the order.
Not the trustee, the order of the municipal court. The court ordered, pay it, motherfucker.
Exactly. They already did, but sometimes they want to see who was really behind the paperwork. And as they could see, it was me. You know, I'm not faking it. Somebody didn't write that for me. So they came and got what they came for. They said, hey, man, go ahead and adjust them books and let's leave this man alone. And they typically, most judges in that state will actually put you, either if not in that state, it'll be in that county. They will put you on the do not detain list. They want to make sure you never run up in a court ever again. So sometimes, like I said,
and that's what I was saying. That protection order is 4 years now. They got 1 year left, and they can't renew it anymore.
Yep.
So what are they going to do then?
Yeah. So like that's why I love being in my home state, like where I dwell. I have no issues here, none whatsoever. They know me all the way up to the Attorney General's office and down. Well, I mean, probably the governor's office and down. And but on first name basis, probably if not by face. I have no issues here, none.
Yeah.
I go in stores.
See,
no
I
mask.
was out in New Hampshire a couple of years ago, and they recognized me out there.
Yeah.
I was standing roadside along with a buddy of mine on his private property, trying to keep DHS and everybody out. There's like 10 of them lined up out there with guns and shit. They finally called the state attorney and said, go in. They had a search warrant for the kids on 10 acres of mountain property. Okay. This was after we'd already stood them off for like 3 hours. They was long gone. But they was definitely going to go search this 10 acres. Okay. 10 acres of mountain property. Okay.
Wow.
15 minutes they came back defeated.
Yep.
You didn't search no 10 acres in 15 minutes, people.
No way. You better send a drone out there. But yeah, that was a good one. I thought of this last night too. I said, you know what? I'm gonna take my other phone and I'm gonna actually go live on this Zoom conference for court. Yep.
So, yeah. See, I got this phone here, but I don't even have phone service. I only use it for free Wi-Fi hookups. That's all I use it for.
Well, that's the one that we're on right now is the free Wi-Fi. Then I have my other phone right here. So this is the one with the service.
See, I don't even have a regular phone.
Huh?
I don't even. I'm over here. I got a TV on, but there's no volume, and the only reason I got a TV here is because I'm actually house sitting somewhere else. Otherwise, I don't even have a TV.
Yeah. And my brother just joined. Yeah, my brother just joined it. He missed it. Go back and watch it. And yeah, I shut that whole case down, bro.
Yeah.
Shut the whole.
But like I said,
case
their
down.
next step would be to try to get a hold of you through the mail. And if they do,
they're not going to.
You'll see a document I sent back from the clerk of courts one time. I put all kinds of codes on it, and we never heard another word from them. This was a couple of years ago. I'll send that picture to you again.
Because
that was from the clerk of courts.
The without recourse is more powerful than the 1308. Because there were times I did the 1308 reservation of rights. I still had to go to court. I went a couple times and then it got dismissed. But when you do it without recourse, there's no liability. You transfer liability on that instrument to somebody else, and they can no longer make a claim against you.
And that's an easy enough issue because I already expressed the 1-308, and if they come back and want to try to press it, it's just a matter of rebuttal. Well, maybe you didn't understand that like wording means without recourse. Shall I say it again? You know, and that's so as long as you know this stuff, you can utter it.
Yeah. Well, the thing
word is the hierarchy of language. You know,
the thing is,
let my yea be my yea.
Yeah. But the thing you got to understand, it's all banking. So you have to deal with it in banking. Court literally transfers, I mean, not transfers. The etymology of court is bank.
Well, let me help you guys comprehend. All life is, in fact, if you take it in a sense of banking, is a matter of control of what we call levies.
Yep.
Which are the bank. The banks are the only things that place a levy on anybody. And this is why we need to get back to private merchant banking. Because then you are the only one that places any kind of levy. If you charge a tax, that's a levy. If you charge a fair price, then it's an even exchange according to that person, that other party you're exchanging with. There is no levy. They agree that it's fair.
Yeah. Which is equity.
Yeah,
that's equity.
In both parties acquiescing to the fact that a third party has a tax on it is agreement.
Yeah, there's agreement.
If either party raises a qualm about it, then it's up to them to prove their position, as in deposits.
Yeah.
Because that's all banks do is they deposit. They take it from one position and put it in another position. Deposit. Same as dispose of. Don't ever let them tell you a case has been disposed of and think, oh, okay, well, they threw it away. No, that means they've actually placed a disposition on it, meaning they have dispositioned you. And now they claim some right to put a bench warrant out on you or something. If you don't respond.
But that's what I loved about this. You notice he didn't say any of that. He didn't threaten me with contempt. He didn't say you'll be hearing from us in the mail. He didn't say we're scheduling for trial. He just said, have a good day, Mr. Bay. That was it.
Yep.
He knew what it was. It's all about proving. They're not going to let you file some paperwork and just get rid of you unless your reputation precedes you. So he never encountered me.
And that's why everybody else in that Zoom meeting all of a sudden perked up. They heard sovereign citizen.
Yeah.
He was calling attention to that and making an issue specifically as a fear factor to try to impose upon the other people watching. Don't ever bring this shit. We will hound you as a sovereign citizen. We all know sovereign citizens are on a list. Yeah, I happen to be on a protection order list that says don't touch this motherfucker.
Exactly. So that was pretty cool. I guess it went as expected.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice too, you know, this Zoom platform is going to help, like I said earlier, make it easier for people to make these questions in these forums. They're not going to have a sheriff standing in the courtroom ready to haul them off if they make an issue because the judge all of a sudden accused them of contempt. What are you going to do, Judge? You're going to send somebody to my door on a contempt charge? Where's the warrant going to be? Huh? Now,
that's what I was
fucking
saying.
Contempt charge now without a warrant.
Yep. There was no guns in there.
Yeah, particularly when you're in Georgia and I'm in Florida. Come on, bring it, bitch.
So that was
Sorry
definitely
about my
pretty good.
language, you guys. Yes, it did. You did an awesome job, brother. We appreciate stuff like that. We need more people like yourself recognizing this stuff as it comes up. Hey, I better record this and show everybody. Because that's what it's about. We are keepers of knowledge only by getting that knowledge and then sharing it.
Exactly.
So again, awesome job, brother. I'm out.
Thank you, man.
I just wanted to hop on and say great job and correlate it with my situation in regards to the venue and all that.
Thank you.
Personal jurisdiction, they don't have if you don't show up. They know that. Their documents, anything from those cases, any securities that they profess off of that citation is all they can run. Any added securities without a certificate, without a signature on it is not a security. They cannot truthfully attach it to the original security between myself and the officer.
Being
Every time they involve somebody else.
Being a sovereign citizen is very
sovereign
bad,
citizen. Yeah, sovereign is the two masters' ego duality. You believe that you're master of yourself by doing what everybody else is telling you to be a good boy and be a success in society, so that everybody else looks up to you as being this successful banker or something, when in reality, you've only got one master you can serve, And if you serve anything else other than the sovereign, I'm not a sovereign. I'm not a citizen. I am in observance of servants, of service, with service, of an abundance, a bond that I already have, through which is freely given, saying that I shouldn't levy anything, but rather give freely. That is how I express my trust at this point in time, and I can express it by using various different like wording, and anybody that doesn't comprehend that doesn't have it written here. And it's no use for me to communicate with them in any manner any further.
Yep.
That's why I say, don't ever call me an asshole. I'll look you right in the eye, and I've done it many times. I don't care who's sitting across the table. I'm not an asshole.
Exactly.
I'm the whole fucking ass. And when it comes to government, and I did a video on this too, the government's the asshole, and I'm the one that tells them when they can or cannot shit, fart, or speak.
Yep.
So if they don't want to listen to me in Zoom, feel free to pipe it up and make that fart last a little bit longer, and it'll leave a little bit bigger footprint by writing it down in print for me.
Yeah.
Give me a written definitive record that I can publish in the local newspaper of your false accusations.
I'll probably wait a week, maybe more, and call down to the clerk and give them the ticket numbers and see if they can find them.
Call up the Treasury direct. Ask them if there's a debt listed, public or private. That's what I did.
Yeah.
They got $8,700 worth of fines supposedly down here. Remember, folks, I never went to court on those previous 11 cases. So the only thing that could be is on the citation. Well, the citation couldn't be adjudicated because they couldn't get a further signature for that next adjudication security instrument. So all that exists on record is an accusation, a levy. It was never adjudicated. Okay? It was never arbitrated.
Nope, it wasn't liquidated.
Okay? Correct. So now they've got all these fines sitting down there. When I call up the Treasury direct every 6 months and ask for a public, ask for a record of any public or private debts, so they tell me no. And I call down to the county and find out about my voter registration every 6 months, and they say no. I'll say, I'll be damned, but they ain't got a citizen sitting down there listed as having so many fines, and they're trying to tell me it's me.
But guess what? That's hearsay. Because no one making that claim.
Well, not
was
only
in the
is
delivery.
it hearsay, but if they try, not only is it hearsay, but if they try to prove it in and on and for the record, I've already got it in, on, and for the record from their higher ups that say no.
Because the only
and
one,
a consistent record of it. These people are getting used to me calling every 6 months. Hey, hi Jenny, it's Keith again.
Yeah. The thing is, the only person who could attest to you being you is your parents, if they were both in the delivery room at the time of delivery. Everybody else does not have a firsthand account of facts. So they're not a reliable witness, and it's hearsay.
Correct.
If my mom ain't in there sitting next to the judge making a claim that I did so-and-so on this date, on these roles of this corporation, you got nothing.
Yeah.
Even the cop.
And that's important. And that's another important thing. I always talk about our Father in heaven, but I want to impress upon people too, and this is something most people forget. We're supposed to honor thy father and honor thy mother. And that's the legacy. The legacy in regards to next of kin can never be your father. It always has to go to your mother first. Your mother is the one that gave birth to you. Your father planted his seed in mother. Just like our Father planted the seed of mankind in earth. just as he planted the seed of life in Mother Earth, and then life itself was born of the water and given the breath of life. And this is why we have to always refer to our next of kin, as long as mom is alive, as mom. We get our true legacy from the seed of the father that was planted in the mother, and this is our proof of chain of title. This is chain of, quote, title. The title that this fictional realm refers to is written. And like I explained earlier, the hierarchy of law is spoken word first. Nobody can break that spoken title. Nobody. It cannot be disproven. Mom and dad came together in unity to perfect a trust. To be the beneficial heir of life, to be prosperous and abundant, and to freely give their life in bringing forth life. To bring forth life is to forward something. Would we not agree?
Yeah.
This is the Latin term pro.
Yes.
So when you profess something, you want to bring forward, you want to fess forward truth. And the best way to do that is verbally, because anytime you define something on paper,
yes,
you have defined it, you have lowered the level. Let my yea be my yea, my nay be my nay. And if I put it on paper and somebody else interprets it wrong, because their language skills are different, say they're only at a 7th grade language level, as opposed to a 24th grade language level that these laws are written in, then it's on them and me, because I did not clarify it in terms that they could understand it. This is the problem with the statutes as they're written. Most people don't comprehend them as they're written. And one word in there, person.
Person.
I can never be a person. I am the legacy of my mom and dad. My mother being next of kin, and my dad being the one who granted his seed and entrusted her to bring forth the true heir of that legacy, the true beneficiary. How dare you make a claim against me, myself, in any kind of personage, by first calling out Keith, my spiritual calling, and before you've uttered another sound, without recognizing in trust that you have already called upon the Spirit of the Almighty, our Father, which art in heaven? Did you not take an oath under him?
Exactly.
And they know this thing about person, and that's why he got on you about sovereign citizen. You can't be sovereign and a citizen at the same time, because that's showing that you're proving that you've got two different masters. And by professing either one, you are still professing your idiocy in the Babel. In my opinion, folks, don't let that harm you, because it's only my opinion. Because if you're claiming to be sovereign, you are claiming to not be observing him, but have your own service. I observe him through Mother Earth, recognizing both him and Mother Earth and my part in it, and that is observance. If I observe anything else other than the fact that he is the sovereign and I am subject to that, at the will of Mother Nature, a tornado could come and wipe me out.
Yeah.
That is sovereign power. I can't control any of that. I am under that. no matter how much I want to serve myself. Even if I'm an atheist, even if I'm so narcissistic to think that I could only be serving myself, I still have to be thoughtful enough in a narcissistic mind to realize that there is something more powerful that can take me out. What is done is what ought to be done.
Check this out, Keith.
If I can't recognize this as it is already, then it's my own lunacy. Correct.
So you are the
Correct.
sovereign. That's why I told him I am.
Well,
The kingdom of God is within
behold,
you.
the kingdom of God within me.
It's within
The
you.
kingdom of God. Well, let me explain it to you this way, guys. Everybody thinks that the Garden of Eden exists in Eden.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't.
Internally.
This is the garden, and it exists within his heaven. This is the garden that exists within his heaven. His heaven is the spirit in us.
Mm-hmm.
His spirit of sovereignty. The spirit of being able to stand your square by yourself and tell every other man, no, you don't have that authority, because I get that from elsewhere.
Exactly.
How can you have that authority and I have that authority? You can't. This is the fallacy of personal jurisdiction. The presence of the body cures the error in the name. The name only refers to the body.
Mm-hmm.
Once this body goes on, people will remember my spirit in the name. They will remember the spirit in my body. They will remember the spirit in my actions. But
Mm-hmm.
regardless of whether anybody forgets my actions, body, or name, the spirit will ever be present, whether it be recognized in that form or not.
Yep.
And that's just simply the passing on of the energy. See, and I'll go on and explain a little bit further. Everybody loves this life and how long it lasts. And they think about this thing about death. And they think it's an instantaneous thing. And yet I beg you people, observe Mother Earth. Go out into the mountains sometime on a nice, dark, moonless night and see the light in the life in the forest around you as the death of things that are decaying provide the energy of the luminescent life forms that are living from the passing of that energy that no longer is movable by itself. It is still being consumed and then transferred. And that's all it is. The transfer of energy has changed.
Good. Yep, I'm here.
So think about that. Death is an instantaneous thing. It's a passing just like life. I am passing day by day from one point in time to another every second of the day. And in life, we do the same thing in body and in spirit.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, and this is why some cultures do all these celebrations upon one's passing. See, death isn't supposed to be where we go and we bury somebody and we cry. We're supposed to celebrate in remembering all the good things that they taught us as keepers of knowledge and pass that on to us, now knowing we are keepers of his knowledge.
Exactly.
And the only way we can keep what we have is by giving it away so that others can remind us.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, remember the time Dan we were all sitting around the bonfire and Dan sat here and was all drunk and had his marshmallows over the fire, and he started on fire, and all of a sudden he went to whip them out, and it landed on his hair and caught his hair on fire. And we remember those things. Those are the things that we remember about people. When they pass on, we don't sit there, oh yeah, remember how he's such a bastard and he kicked that dog, or we don't talk about that. We remember the good things. So why do we call it mourning?
Exactly.
Why are we not calling it celebration? See, this is one of the things I brought up in 12-step programs. People call it an addiction. I urge you people, look up the definition of addiction and see how many times you don't see the synonym dedication.
Dedication?
So why is it I can't dedicate this, my little, what some people call holy sacraments? Why can't I dedicate this? Why can't I be dedicated to this instead of what other people call addicted? Just because I want to smoke a little herb every day doesn't mean I'm addicted, does it? Or does it? It depends upon your perspective. Is it objective or subjective?
Yeah.
What is your observance? What is your subservance? Are you a sovereign? Are you the sovereign? Are you sovereign? Do you carry sovereign powers from another sovereign entity? What is that sovereign entity's title? Is it the state of? Is it the United States? Is it a dollar bill? Well, that depends, Keith. What are you talking about? Is it money or legal tender? Don't get into me about this. You want to talk about definitions? Let's get to the root. And I love this part because people want to sit there and talk about roots of the words. Well, how come we don't ever talk about the writings on the cave walls? How come nobody talks about those, quote, hieroglyphics? How come they don't describe them as hieroglyphics or symbols or writing? Why do they describe them as caveman drawings?
Yeah.
Is it because they think at that point in time, men only had a certain capacity? Maybe they had a greater capacity, but like a bike, they hadn't practiced it enough. They still had the capability, they just didn't have the experience. Therefore, the wisdom and the artistry wasn't refined. It wasn't defined. It wasn't subscribed. It hadn't even been scribed yet.
Not even.
So now let's talk about etymology. People want to get into talking about, well, you're not going back far enough in etymology. You're only using the Latin roots. No, we use Hebrew roots. No, we use Phoenician roots. Well, how come all these people discussing these etymologies, never once will you hear them talk about caveman drawings? How come that isn't part of etymology? Isn't that proven to go farther back?
Yeah.
Isn't that logic? So when these court people want my response in writing, can't I technically, like it's been scoffed at, just get out my box of crayons and start drawing them?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it mean it now has to come to a face-to-face meeting of the minds? Well, what did you mean by this symbol, brother? Because I don't comprehend what this is. This your name? What is this? Well, that first symbol there, sir, that technically stands for fuck you, I'm in private. However I want to discern it at that point in time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we have to realize it originally and this is what I was talking about earlier. 4 years ago, I stood in that court and I was belligerent and I was angry and I had a lot of resentment. But initially, it all has to come from here. And if you're not at peace here, it's going to reflect that.
Yeah.
And they see that. They're no dummies. They observe. They're observing your every move. That's why they expect. That's why the apparitor, the judge, called an apparitor, is expecting the appearance of an apparition. Apparitor, appearance, and apparition. APP. It's all an application. That's why the young or the studious man on the other end of the camera on that Zoom meeting told our brother here he could make an application. He could fill out an application because they're expecting the appearance of an apparition, apparently. Parent? See, don't get me rolling on words, people, because that's all it is.
Yeah.
It depends on where your square is and how you stand on it. Can you be moved off of it? If not, now let's talk about where that square is. What are your morals? Are you using a central point to guide you? Are you circling yourself with a circle of the same kind of people?
You have to.
Are you learning their languages? See, this is one of those things. When I started studying this stuff, I had to study one word first. I had to figure out what study means.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody ever looked up study?
I haven't.
Observe.
But I got to get going. I got to get back on schedule for a couple things, Keith.
All right. Well, yeah. This turned out longer. I just love talking to people like myself, brother. You did an excellent job. We'll roll with it again next time.
Definitely.
You guys have a great day. Thanks for joining us. And remember, listen to us, learn it. Don't believe us. Do your own research so you know, so you can know yourself. Know thyself.
Exactly.
Peace, brother. Love it.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for joining me.
You bet. Bye.
All right, everybody. I hope this was very enlightening for everybody, and I'm going to leave it up, but I'm actually going to put it up in a few minutes. If you want to review it from the beginning in its entirety, go ahead and enjoy it. It says go live, Keith. And if you have any comments or anything, just feel free to leave them. If you want to share the video or anything like that, greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching.